Okay, let's get started. It's almost 12:01. So welcome everyone. It is Tuesday, so I think of this as Attention Training Tuesday. Um, Yesterday we practiced what I would call pretty basic mindfulness, right? This capacity to simply be with whatever was showing up. Talked about blind spots and this idea that the only way to really see your blind spots is to actually slow down and get kind of quiet so you can actually pay attention to what what the senses are picking up and what the mind is thinking. Without that, we're just, things are moving typically too quickly for us to actually be able to catch it. So um, today, attention training is a little bit different. And I just want to segue into this by actually showing this picture here, this title slide. This picture is a picture that I took myself, literally out of the side of the car window, and it was one of these situations. I was in a rush. I was going to pick up my son from an athletic practice. I was sitting at the traffic light, feeling a little, anxious and fixated on being late and so on and so forth. And then suddenly I noticed this, beautiful bushel of grass growing out of the middle of the concrete sideway with all the cars around and me being in my frenetic mode. And it was just this really beautiful juxtaposition to, there it is, whatever I focus on, whatever I can consciously choose to focus on actually determines my reality in any given moment. So it very quickly shifted from being this frenetic, not very pleasant experience of feeling like I was dropping the ball and I was behind and so on and so forth, to actually a moment of, wow, that is so cool. Look how beautiful the light is reflecting off of these blades of grass and the flowers on the end of the grass. And it almost put into perspective something that was really beautiful that I was choosing to focus on in the midst of this otherwise kind of concrete jungle filled with, cars and busyness and so on and so forth. So that's the theme that I'd like to focus on today. Whatever we focus our attention on determines our reality. And that means that the more we practice focusing our attention where we want it to be, the more we're stimulating those parts of our neurology to be able to do that more effectively, right? So it's just like going to the gym and lifting weights and saying, I want to get stronger. Well, okay, so you need to lift heavy things in order to, get your body to adapt. If you want to, get better at playing guitar, well, you're gonna have to spend some time playing guitar if you really want to get better. So the same thing here. If you want to get better at attention, we need to practice attention. So there are two aspects of attention that I pun intended, that I want to draw our attention to. The first one is this idea of focus. So I can look at this candle in the picture and I can focus on it. That's something I can choose to do. And that means that I'm taking my attentional aperture, if you will, and I'm zeroing in on the candle. And I can choose to do that on any part of my experience in any given moment. And then the second part of this is concentration. And concentration is our ability to maintain focus over time. So yes, I can focus on something, I can focus, and then if 2 seconds later I get distracted because there's a noise or my phone, gets a new text message and so on, well, it has limited value to me because I can't concentrate. So today we're going to practice focusing and then trying to concentrate. And again, quick reminder, anything we practice here, is, again, the intention is to help us get better at these skills, these very human skills that I think constitute, the good life, or the kind of skills that we all want to develop. And it takes time and patience. So when we practice these skills today, as we do a body scan and we practice, give yourself a break if it doesn't work out. Meaning, if in a few seconds after trying to focus on something, you notice your mind wandering or you're distracted, just know that that's a completely normal part of this process, and see if you can just kind of relax into it and um, refocus on whatever it is that whichever body part we're focusing on. Okay, so let's 12:05. Let's get started. Let's close our eyes and let's start with grounding by noticing breath in the body. Specifically focus on your belly and just take notice of what your belly feels like in this moment, what your belly is doing, the expansion and the contraction with each in breath and out breath. That's the mechanics of breath in your belly. And then what's the felt sense of your belly right now? Does it feel tight? Does it feel open, relaxed, tense? Again, we're not trying to change anything here. We're not trying to create any sense of how our belly should or shouldn't feel. We're simply focusing our attention on what's happening in the belly right now. And then seeing if you can maintain this focus so that would be concentrating on your belly over time. And I'm going to intentionally be quiet for longer periods of time today, just to allow you to not get distracted by my voice or by my instructions and just focus on your experience in the moment. So just keep your focus on your belly and just notice the inhalation and the out exhalation and the sensations. And if, or rather when you notice your attention drifting, meaning your mind wandering, again, that's completely normal. When you notice that, just gently bring your attention back to focusing on your belly and the sensation of your belly expanding and contracting. Now let's move our locus of our attention to our throat and our neck area. It's probably an area that you don't necessarily focus on a lot. But again, just notice, what does it feel like to have a neck? What does it feel like to have the inhalations passing into your body through your throat and the warm air passing back out. Notice the sensations or the sounds. And when your mind wanders, don't make a big deal out of it. Just simply, gently, calmly bring your attention back to just noticing sensations in your neck, in your throat. Many of us, myself included, hold a fair amount of tension in our necks, especially the back of our neck from looking at our phones or our computers. Again, the goal here is not to change that or to make it good or bad, but it's simply to notice. Maybe that's present for you, maybe it's not. And then let's shift our attention just for a couple minutes to our hands. So another area where many of us hold a lot of tension, lots of nerve endings in our fingers and the palms of our hands. Just notice what it's like to focus on your hands for a minute in silence. And again, if your mind has drifted to something other than your hands, just notice that. And one last time, let's return full attention to the sensation of having hands. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and hold the breath. And go ahead and exhale all the way. And then inhale all the way and hold. Long exhale. And open your eyes. Come on back to the session. 12:15, so that was about 10 minutes. Just an example of how we can practice attention training using our body is a pretty good tool for attention training. But the truth is, you can do it with any object you want. So that's why I showed a picture of a candle earlier. It can be pretty mesmerizing to just look at a candle and see what happens, and notice how your mind wanders and how you can bring yourself back to that. And then realizing that the usefulness of really the capacity for paying attention, obviously in relationships or conversations or anything that we do throughout the day, is it's a pretty invaluable skill to cultivate. So hope that was helpful. See you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.